I'll second that.
Motion made by Mrs. Riddell, seconded by Mrs. Pothorsky to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Next, the approval of claims.
Make a motion we approve the claims.
I'll second it. Motion made by Mr. Mashinsky, seconded by Albert to approve the claims. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Please, our dear friends at MCO.
Thank you. Spent most of our time, my time, with the construction project. It's moving along fairly well. It's they're having some fits out there at the correctional center, but there's a lot of water in the ground, and they're having a hard time getting it down. But other than that, it's come along pretty well. We did have a water main break on Monad Street. We got there in the evening, throttled it down. D&M came in then the next day and repaired it. We did issue a water boil advisory. We thought we probably over throttled a little bit, so the pressure dropped lower than what we wanted it to. As far as the tower demolition goes, it looks like Surf Broadband's got their equipment off right now. I met with Ryan at D&M today, and we had some discussions on what to do with the water main. Ryan had a pretty good idea. I think we'll pursue it if the council's okay with it. There's a water main that goes into the property to the tower. I think it's a 6 or 8 inch water main. We do feed the Methodist church off of that water main. Ryan had a really good idea. We cut it right at the sidewalk, put a hydrant there, and then feed the church with so we get everything off of that lot completely, other than whatever's left of the tower. We should be able to isolate it with the 2 valves on the street. So he's getting me a price on that. So I think it's a really good idea. We'll put a new hydrant there. Fire protection. So I think it's a real good solution. It may not be super inexpensive, but I think it's the best way to do it.
Not gonna dig up the sidewalk that we just put down in front of the church, are they?
I hope not. But we'll take it. There's not much room there, so it's either that or above a straight.
Works out.
Your call, Jim. We'll leave that up.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't heard anything on the roundabout. Nash Finch Station is still where it's at. We may have the opportunity to get a used generator. I don't know if I reported that at the last meeting or not, but John Knesevich with Superior Pumping, he had pulled one out of the lift station, so we may be able to get one from him at a really reasonable price. So we're looking at that. It's a small diesel generator, it should work there well. I have not heard anything. The last item is I've heard nothing from Surveyor regarding utilities or anything.
I've been trying to get a hold of them.
I've talked to them, about some of the other projects, but I have heard absolutely nothing as far as giving maps or anything for us. I guess I'm assuming they're just going to design it, and that's what they're going to do. I really don't know.
They're gonna do as-built after they do it.
I don't know. But I have noticed in a couple of the other communities where they're doing this, I think they've kind of slowed down the process. I'm really apprehensive that they are going to start this in the winter, and it's really going to be a problem trying to keep it located and locating it, because I explained to them, I said, look, we can drop some snow really quick, and I said, all our marks are going to be covered, and you expect us to go out there and remark everything every other day. I said, we're not going to be able to do it. So hopefully they said they'll work with us, but put that before too. All right. Other than that, that's all. I think that's all I've got.
Okay, thanks. We have our agreement with Baker Tilly for this project has has run out due to all the extra, and I've got a report on the bond. We had a meeting today, but we have a new agreement with Baker Tilly they're doing the rate study and all that, bond and everything. And the only change was their hourly rate went from 60 to 70 bucks an hour. Doug reviewed this, so I'll make a motion that we go enter into the agreement with Baker Tilly.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to enter into the agreement with Baker Tilly for financial services. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Bashinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Bethorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Just a quick brief synopsis. On the financing of the project, there was going to be two payments due on this project prior to the startup. So what we would have had to have done is come up and made those payments before the revenue was coming in. And the state of Indiana gave for lack of a better term, a grant for one thing of $730,000 to reduce the bond issue, with the stipulation that the Department of Corrections would get a 10% discount on their minimum bill every month for 5 years, which is about $12,500. That's the minimum bill. If it's up in that, it's still going to stay that $12,500. Well, our position was, well, you're giving them a break. We're going to have to pick that up. So what they have done is they have dropped our interest rate accordingly, so we will not have a bigger payment or cost. So they dropped the interest rate on the on the loan, and because of dropping that rate, we won't have to pay any of the loan until January 1st of 2024. So we won't be charging interest. There will be no interest on during that 2-year period, and there won't be any principal. But with the decline, the decline in interest rate, it won't lengthen the term of the loan another 2 years. It'll still be in that time period and won't cost us any more. So we have free money for 2 years from them. So that's where that's at right now. Let's see. I guess that's it on utilities. Remember when they tear the tower down, about the legs and any identification, and then
there's a plate on the corner, and I figure it will get at least part of one of the cross members and part of one of the legs.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yep, and finial on top.
Yeah, okay.
If we can.
And I don't know when we're gonna, I'm gonna talk to Tom and see who he's talking with, that's going that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure who he was.
I'm hoping we can get it done.
Because they needed a couple of days' notice, I think, to come out and,
Oh, yeah, it's.
because they have to cover the lines, don't they? Wrap them.
They gotta actually shut them down too, some of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not gonna be I hope they can do it. I mean, they may not be able to do it with weather, I don't know.
Well, at least you'll just be doing locates. You won't have to work on the tower then. Okay. Streets.
We've got a low spot on one of our roads out at Fairview. Ruth Riley, we have already paid them their first round payment, and we're holding the retainage until that's redone. They said it'd be sometime this week or next week. And then we'll close that for the year. I want to thank Bubba and Ken and Joe. During the storm, right by the Methodist Church, that huge tree crashed a car, went across it, and that was a lot of tree, and our guys cleaned it up. It's reseeded, and I must say it was one hell of a job.
Yeah.
And pretty fast. So I want to thank them for that. And that's about it.
Okay. You decide if we're going to tear up the sidewalks. Parks.
I'm still thinking.
Okay. Police,
We had 324 calls for service in October. Deputy Cashman is moving along well at the academy. He's set to graduate this Friday. His test scores have been pretty outstanding. I think my math skills are around 90% on all of his testing, so I'm very pleased with the work he's doing, and I'm looking forward to him hitting the streets back with us at the start of next week, with him hopefully hitting the road as long as his training goes along well at the start of January. In reference to some of the crossing issues at 421 in Main Street, or Flynn, excuse me, I reached out to NDOT. They are going to be doing a traffic count investigation to see if it's warranted to do something, say like they did on Pine Lake Ave, right by T-Bones and across from Third Base, and the hotel's right there. Hopefully to slow down traffic and put a long-term fix to this issue that I know has been an issue for
Long time.
decades. So hopefully they'll work with us and do something, because it's my understanding that the town's hands are kind of tied. It's got to be NDOT that's the driving force here, and the state's got to do it since it does cross 421. Boys and Girls Club, they are up and running, fully staffed. Actually, I believe they actually had to hire 1 or 2 more staff members because of the numbers that they had at the school. There is a wait list even that they've had to work through. So it's been really great that the school has been a collaborative partner with them, and we're getting a lot of kids, and my juvenile complaints have dropped off. So it's been a bonus. So, and then the final thing is that last week I signed the agreement to partner with the Unity Foundation. We are starting an endowment fund with Unity for the Westville Police Department Scholarship Fund. I've got the whole criteria here for everything. I won't bore you guys with it, but essentially it's got to be a graduating senior with at least a 3.0, preference to a Westville student, and they have to be interested in law enforcement to some capacity as their area of study. Hopefully that we can get some young folks to want to go to college and then come back to the greater LaPorte County area to serve in law enforcement. Okay.
okay. Before we go too far, we have a student from South Central, I'm not putting you on the spot or anything, that usually once or twice a year, Jill, is it still Jill Tucholsky's government class? Has to go to a public meeting. So normally there's more than one of you. Did they?
There was 2 people that were supposed to come today, but they were homesick.
Oh. What's your name?
Destiny Atwood.
Okay. Well, thanks if for coming out. If you have any questions, if you don't understand one, raise your hand or throw something at us and we'll answer them if we can. We have a 5-person council. We have 1 member missing tonight, and we each have a department we oversee. Regina is police. I'm utilities. Jim is streets. Olga is parks, and our missing member is finance. And we have a clerk. Lori Mercer is our town clerk. This is our town attorney, Doug BG. And we meet once a month. Sometimes if something else comes up more, we do. We got a big project going on right now of tying the correctional center into our sewage plant. That's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. And we're removing our old water tower, so that's what we're talking about the water tower. This is the end of the year, so we're kind of doing housekeeping for next year's salary ordinance, so we can pay our people next year and holidays and all. So that's kind of what we're doing tonight. Okay? Thank you. Thanks for coming. Finance. We have additional, I just want to put this in the minutes, additional appropriation ordinance that we passed last month as 2021-12. It's 2021-13. So that's just a correction. We don't have to vote on it. It's just a correction. Next, we have salary ordinance 2021-14. As we've done in the past several years, it's a 25 cents per hour raise starting in January. If you'd like, I can read the amounts, or I can read it by title only. Okay, I have ordinance 2021-14. It's the salary ordinance for year 2022. I'll make a motion that we approve it on the first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Paszynski to approve ordinance 2021-14 on the first reading. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Paszynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Now I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules and adopt ordinance 2021-14.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Paszynski that we suspend the rules and adopt ordinance 2021-14. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Paszynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Okay. Employee health insurance, just for everyone's information, went up 8% this year, which was probably expected, probably kind of low the way health insurance costs have gone. So that's just a FYI for everybody. After the first of the year, I'll contact appraisers for the old town hall building so we can work on the sale of that because they're old and we've taken the generator out of there, so it's got some changes. Anything else under finance? Miscellaneous. We have resolution 2021-10, the town holidays for 2022. They are New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Good Friday, Election Day, only in the election years, which 2022 will be an election year, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and any other days as defined by the town council. If the holiday falls on a Sunday, the following Monday will be the legal holiday. If it falls on a Saturday, the Friday before will be the holiday as in the past. So I will make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-10.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to adopt ordinance or resolution 2021-10. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Albert votes yes. Mr. Paszynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Passes 4-0. Okay, we have employee handbooks amendments. Most of them are housekeeping, cleaning up verbiage. In there, everybody's got a copy that's sent to them. Couple of things on call off for sick. It's a 2-hour call off and it's by phone, not by text. It clarified the sick day accruals when you begin accruing them. And it also mentions floating holidays for the police officers where if they work the holiday, they can take the holiday at a different time. It permits that, accrual of that, which is an uncommon in law enforcement, the floating days. It also has in here something we were talking about earlier about new parent leave program that we talked, that's kind of being the new wave of benefits for parents. This country is kind of behind on that, I think, quite a bit, but we'll do our part. So, and Regina has worked on this quite a bit, and Lori been kicking these, clarifying everything on this. So I will make a motion that we approve the amendments for the employee handbook.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to approve the amendments to the employee handbook. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Paszynski?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes. Passes 4-0.
Are we going to have new handbooks reprinted or just an addition?
They're all done already.
Yep.
I'll hand them out tomorrow.
Or we'll be back?
What's that?
He said, what if we didn't pass it? Hit the old delete button.
Delete.
A little more in recycling tomorrow. There's that.
I'm still working on the sidewalk.
We have the contract from MediaCom. It's for their rental of our land out by the town garage. First year, it's this annual payment of $1,600, then it increases 3% annually. And it's been reviewed by, I think it's been reviewed by Doug. It's pretty much, I think, what we've had before with them.
It is.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the lease agreement with MediaCom.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Mashinsky to approve the lease agreement with MediaCom. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Julia, oh, hi.
Hi.
I didn't see you come in.
I was cutting it kind of close.
Okay, good time. Floor is yours.
So I'm here on behalf of the Westville Area Chamber of Commerce looking to get approval to close Main Street from Railroad to Ridge on June 4th, 2022 for our annual Market on Main event. In addition to what we've always done, we are also hoping to host a 5K to raise money for the Police Scholarship Fund, and we do intend on matching any money that we raise that day for the fund.
Okay, what time on those dates?
10 to 4.
10 to 4.
The 5K would be beforehand though. It'd probably start at 9 a.m.
Where do they start that at? Where,
We have to map it out. We still have to see, yeah,
it's a cross-country thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we have to run a 5K and figure it out.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve Main Street being blocked between Railroad and Ridge on June 4th from 10 a.m. or before, set up time until 4. And just get with the marshal and Bubba for, technicalities and things like that. I made the motion, I didn't get a second.
Second.
Sorry. Second. Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to allow the Chamber of Commerce to have Market on Main, June 4th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Anything else? Yes, David?
And on my activity report, it's kind of short and sweet. October, we handled 42 calls, 19 in town, 13 in New Durham, 8 in Jackson, 2 mutual aids. Of those, we had 28 medical incidents, 1 crash with injury, 1 crash without injury, 8 dispatched and disregarded, 2 false alarms, an alarm system malfunction, and a carbon monoxide detector. What's going on with us, basically, we've got our new truck ordered. It was ordered in July. We expect delivery in June. The cost is $716,126. Also, we'd like to have it noted that we did give a $1,000 scholarship this year to a graduating senior at the Westville School. Also, we received an ISO rating about a year ago. We did an ISO rating. We received a 6.6Y, which is equivalent to a full-time Chesterton Fire Department. This is an outstanding rating for rural volunteer fire departments to achieve. The scores are based off response times, training levels, distances from the station, man-in levels, water supply, equipment we have with trucks, and the trucks themselves. ISO ratings are used by insurance companies to set premiums for your homeowner's insurance. The better the rating, the cheaper the premiums are. We received a call from a Florida County resident not too long ago in our area, and their premiums almost doubled because they live so far away from a responding fire station. So 6 and 6Y is excellent rating. That's the best we can get as a volunteer department. You go over to Noble, and they're at a 10, which is the highest you can get, and those people are paying through the nose for homeowners insurance.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's it.
Anything else? Any questions from our student? No?
Can I ask the student a question?
Sure.
Do you know Mr. Seifert? You're lucky. He's my brother.
Oh.
He stands in the hallway and takes one kiss really well by
Sounds like my kind of guy. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Mshinsky to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed being none, the meeting adjourns at 7:25.